Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Tuesday the 20th of January. This video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. So let's have a look at the market. Well, US was closed yesterday due to Martin Luther King Day. So it was fairly quiet, obviously. So just very quickly to repeat myself for what I said yesterday, more or less, that Friday ended on a fairly negative day. We had Nasdaq 100 still 25,835 resistance. The future was trading and is currently trading and 1.6% lower, as we can see here below the 55 moving average. On the Nasdaq future, here we are. The Nasdaq future just still above the cloud and above the 100 moving average, but as we can see here, the RSI strength indicator is testing the 40 threshold just about it, but it has already been in negative sentiment after being below here back in November. Never closed it back above since. So that will be key to what's here the next few days. And what will actually happen when market opens later today. S&P 500 was unchanged Friday, so let's have a look at the future. Here we can also see the future is currently testing the 50% and the just above the support here at 6,866, just above the 55 moving average. S&P 500 is actually in a positive sentiment, but we can also see the strength indicator RSI is diving, but it was also there, so it can still bounce. So let's see what's going to happen here the next today and this week after all these tariffs threats going on again. It has broken below the rising trend line, so we are a little bit in on the edge here with the 6,866 on the future that we should keep an eye on. There's a little bit of support there. The Dow Jones index future also below here, 49,000, minor support, not the strongest one. The next one is down here around the 48,000. That should be observed. Russell 2000 very quickly closed higher Friday. I don't have a future on that one. Moving on to the Hang Seng index. Excuse me. The Hang Seng index lower again this morning, just about 0.3%. Support there 26,264. Still positive sentiment, still bullish trend slightly, but the rejection up there, the resistance was key. But we can see higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and so on. Let's see if it can turn around here the next few days, or it will decline lower. Nikkei testing support at 52,695 this morning. This is the future. You can see the RSI declining here, the strength indicator. So it is in an exhaustion mode. However, we are still in a bullish trend as long as we stay above 51 at 170. But it is under pressure at the moment after this peak-like patterns there. Yesterday was not a good day for the European markets. Across the board, bearish picture. There were a few positives like Bayer in Germany and the defense sector. They were doing fairly okay, but more or less the rest of the market was lower, selling off profit taking and uncertainties. Here, EURUSTOXX50 yesterday closed just above the 38.2 retracement and the support there. So let's see what is going on. Pre-market, we can see pre-market is being sent down further. So we are below the 38.2 retracement there at 5,902. Could dip to 5,856, where we have some the 50% threshold or support, stronger support down here in the region around. And this is what you can use these for, the peaks there. So we have some support here in the region around 5,817, 5,794. So around 5,800. It is not unlikely we will dip to that if the panic spreads a little bit. However, we are still in a positive sentiment. I don't think there's no divergence indicating we could see higher levels later on, but for now we need some solid ground to turn around on. DAX also lower yesterday, of course, gapped lower, but intraday wasn't that much of a trading, but just above 24,902, so we are actually below 25. I predicted about a week ago we would see 25,000 being tested, but I didn't anticipate this tariffs talk, and that is pushing it further down here. Pre-market, you can see below 24,750 area, 24,678, the 50% retracement of this uptrend there. So let's see, maybe buyers will come in and say maybe it's not that bad, and we will have an opportunity to buy some here, to buy at cheaper prices today. But let's see about that. There's still risk down to stronger support area around 24,500. On the FX side, there's also some action going on. Euro dollar bounced from just above the 786 retracement and the 200 moving average here, and has bounced strongly, 50% of this downtrend there. And we can see RSI also bouncing. If your dollar gets back above 117, I think we'll see a move up to 17.5, and maybe it can take out that falling trend line. That will be key to watch this area here. If it takes that out, well, then suddenly there's room up to the peak area here around 118. But let's see, I could foresee that we'll get up there and maybe being set back. But we are above the 55 moving average, that's rising. The same with the 100 moving average. Sterling dollar, also bounced from the 55 moving average. Could take out 135. If it takes out 135, then I think we will see uptrend resuming. We have the 55 pushing up there. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. If it moves back above 60 threshold and the falling trend line there, well, then I think we'll see a cable or sterling dollar pushing towards 136, 137, these peaks area here on the medium term trend. Euro sterling couldn't really follow through yesterday, sat back again and also tried again this morning. So I still believe the pressure will be to the downside to around 86. Dollar yen bounced from trying to get down to the rising trend line there, but still above 157.85 support area. And I think we will see it crawling higher, despite the fact that we do have some divergence here. You see RSI values declining, so still indicating uptrend exhaustion. But it can go on for quite some time. It's just a little bit of warning signs to say be careful. Let's see about that. So if it can stay above this rising trend line there, then I think we could see it pushing higher towards 160. The other yen pairs are actually bouncing strongly. We have the euro yen already yesterday when we talked together, when I published the video yesterday, we were back above the rising trend line. It bounced from the support there, and I think it will bounce further. And what we can now do with this little correction here, we say, all right, we can guesstimate where we could move to. We're already above the 786 retracement. That's usually a fairly strong signal that it will push higher, and I think we'll see it pushing higher towards 187 or 188, these levels up here, as long as it stays above the lows from yesterday at 182.40. Aussie yen already higher and pushing higher here, and we can see on the weekly it is aiming for these peaks here back from 2024 around 109, and we are getting close to it. We are at 107, very close to 107 right now. So I think we will see that push higher. The sterling yen also strong bounce, and also here we can try to add a Fibonacci projection to it, so we can see it's currently trading around the 786 retracement, 213.40, and I think it will push higher here in the coming weeks. And here on the daily, you can see there's no divergence on the RSI. It's actually rising, so I think we'll see higher levels on sterling yen pushing towards 215, 216, 217 in the coming weeks. Fairly strong move there, and we have to, as I mentioned before, have to go really far back to see levels like this. Actually back to the 2007, 8, 9 levels here. Let's see, where are we there? 2008. Yeah, we are above that and or very close to it. Sorry, but I think we will push towards that level. Aussie dollar also bouncing strongly, resuming uptrend. As we talked about, that was the likely outcome given the fact that we have the 100 and the 55 moving average rising there, and we did have still have a little bit of divergence on the RSI, so it is indicating uncertainty, but RSI back above 60 threshold at the moment, and it will likely push higher. I think we are above 786 retracement of this corrective phase there, and that is usually a sign that we could push higher, and I think in about a week or so then we are higher here above 68.50. The dollar Canada being rejected finally, not that I wanted it, but where we had the 55 dragging it lower, got rejected there at the cloud. Despite the fact that RSI was above 60 threshold, I think we will see it resuming downtrend, and next minor support, it will be around 38.2 retracement there at 138.15. I think we will see it sliding lower in the coming weeks and pushing towards 137.5 to 61.8 retracement. I think we'll see that here. So turnaround from there. To establish a bullish trend, it needs to get back above 139.30 there, and I don't see that is playing out anytime soon. Sterling Canada, after dipping yesterday to the 55 moving average and the 61.8 retracement there at 185, bouncing strongly, and I think it will keep bouncing and also take out the peak there. You can see 55 rising there, 200 also, 100 also slightly. The underlying trend is bullish, didn't get back below or stayed below the cloud, so I think we'll see Sterling Canada pushing higher in the coming days and weeks. The Swiss franc, Euro Swiss, yesterday tested support there at 92.65, and I think it will take it out, and then we will see a push lower towards the 35 level here, where we have some support. Disregard this spike down there. It is a false report. I think it will slide lower here in the coming weeks. Negative sentiment on the RSI indicating just that. Dollar Swiss also turned around after reaching the 786 retracement there, despite the fact we were just above the 60 threshold. So we have what we have here, pushed below a minor support at 79.55 and the 38.2 retracement. See, selling is in session, and I think we'll see it pushing down to around 79 area, where we have some support again just around here, and I think we'll see that in the coming days and weeks. We can see 55 and 100 moving average pushing it lower, basically. So it is indicating that the underlying trend is bearish, and I think we'll continue with that. The dollar index that got rejected there around the 61.8 retracement already yesterday when I did my video, and I think we'll see it taking out 98.40 fairly soon, and push down to 98.15 to 61.8 retracement there, and it is possible that it will push even lower. To resume the bullish move here, it needs to take out the peak from yesterday, 99.31. Metals, gold is pushing higher, as we talked about. It probably would yesterday. We are above 4,700. I think we'll push towards 48 and possibly higher in the coming days and weeks. Fairly strong uptrend, despite the fact there is a little bit of exhaustion indication here with RSI lower here than here. But for now, it tries to trend. We have a higher low there and then now a higher high, and I think we will push higher. Silver pushed higher yesterday, continuing a little bit today, just below 95. I still think we will see it 100, and that will be big news out there if that occurs. I still believe we could see it pushing above $100. Platinum still sideways, but with a bullish undertone, so I think eventually it will also take out the peak up there. but be careful, it is quite volatile. Copper in a correction phase, key support here around 569. If it turns around and resumes uptrend here, and RSI gets back above 60 threshold, and especially back above the falling trend line here, above the falling trend line, then I think we will see new highs above the 615 here. I think that scenario will be played out. The energy market, we have WTI crude oil bouncing from support at 58.88 and the 55 moving average here. So let's see if that can continue. Still positive sentiment. However, we have the 200 and the 100 moving average is coming down. We are in the clouds, or we were below, but we are in the clouds. So kind of a neutral, actually. Let's see. It really needs to get back above 62.59, sorry, to really establish a bullish trend. So strong resistance in this area up here, where we have the 62.59 and the 200 moving average coming down, kind of holding down there. The Brent crude oil hovering around the 64 area. Still positive sentiment. We are in a slightly bullish trend. I would call it neutral, since we are in the clouds, basically stepping sideways out of it. So we need some guidance, either back below the 62.70 for a bearish trend, or it needs to bounce back up and take out 66.82. If it takes out that, well, then we have a strong bullish trend in session. On the nat gas side, the European nat gas, very volatile yesterday, but didn't really move an inch from the from the opening. Can still push higher. Positive sentiment on the RSI. No divergence, indicating higher levels actually. Look at this on the weekly. If we zoom in a little bit on the weekly, we can see that, well, also here RSI got back above 60 threshold. So there is a risk for higher gas prices in Europe, and the winter is definitely not over yet. So it seems like it's colder than especially here in Northern Europe, that it was anticipated, but extremely volatile. If it moves back below 32.50, then it could collapse again, but it's not really there yet. The US nat gas, strong bounce here this morning, and pushing higher towards 50% of this sell-off there. I think we will see it up to $4 here within the next few days, and then we have some stronger resistance here with the 55 moving average just below 420, and the 786 retracement there at 4.25, and the lower part of cloud, but up to around $4 is in the cards. It's not a given, and I don't promise you anything. The interest rate market and the US 10-year Treasury yields already Friday pushed higher, as we talked about yesterday, and it's continuing today and yesterday also, and I think we'll see 430 being reached possibly today. Really strong move indeed after taking out 420, 421, really key resistance, and there is medium-term potential to 440, possibly higher. So higher interest rates in the US. Also pushing higher here this morning in Europe on the EU 10-year. I warned about it yesterday, and also late last week we could see that, and I think we will see it bouncing higher and test these 292, and I actually think it will take it out maybe in a week or so. The UK 10 also jumping, so despite the fact it took out 437, it didn't follow through. I think we'll see a push up to around 4.5 area here, where we have the rising trend line, and we have the 786 retracement, also 450, and the falling trend line coming down there. So there's some strong resistance in this area. I think we'll see that. Japanese yields, massive move this morning here, above 235. I think it will continue high. We see very strong. We will see the RSI also above its falling trend line, cancelling the divergence there, which was not unexpected. And there's potential higher up to 245 this 268 projection that comes from really far back. Also, just let's have a quick at the 30-year in Japan. Massive move there above 390. Finally, on Bitcoin, that is quite weak. We have Bitcoin testing some support here at 90,728, just above the rising trend line there. RSI has broken out of its rising channel, so could dip lower. It's not unlikely. So keep an eye on what's happening here with the rising trend line here for the next 24 hours. If it takes out that, well, then suddenly it has maybe cancelled and reversed its uptrend. It will do so 89,200. If it takes out that, then suddenly we are back in a bearish trend. Same picture on Ethereum, more or less. Support there at 3,040. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again tomorrow, and be careful out there.